Wakikula, you know, scholarship can have that, if you talked about double-edged sword, it can have a double meaning. And also now on this issue, this onslaught on the media.
Well, I'd actually start by thinking about the definition of democracy, which in simple terms is that the power rests with the people. And when the power rests with the people, then because we are a constitutional democracy, it means we're electing people to offices to represent our wishes, which more often in Kenya doesn't happen like that, because then you elect people to represent you and they come back and they ask you, do you want us to pass a finance bill? And you're like, no. Then they go to Parliament and the Senate and they pass it. So sometimes you're left wondering, who exactly are they representing? So for me, it actually feels like, yes, it is actually an onslaught on democracy, because when you start by buying off the opposition, the moment you win, whether it's a win, which now, because we have a president in office, which even as an opposition member, I also accept that Honorable William Ruto is the president of the country. But the very first thing he does when he gets into office is do what? Buy the MPs and senators.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Well,
we are told they are working
fine.
with the president.
Let's say, sorry, Olive, let's say allegedly. But buys off. And the reason I wouldn't, and because I've also gone to law school, so I know what, I know what allegedly means and what facts mean. And when you have members of the opposition or the parties which formed the coalition of the opposition bought off to go, allegedly bought off to go to the side of the government, you're killing democracy, because democracy requires that then everyone has a voice, that there is a government in place, but the people who dissent or have alternative views from the government also get their say. So I think that is actually the point we started from when you're talking about the onslaught on democracy in this country now. And then we come to the media. The reason myself and my colleagues are seated here is because the media is actually supposed to have its place. Because if it didn't, then we wouldn't be seated here. And especially maybe as someone who doesn't support the ills of the government, when the government does good, I will say that it has done well. When it hasn't, I still have my voice to say that it hasn't, because I have the freedom to say so. But if you're speaking about a whole CS going to social media with thousands of followers, or actually millions of followers, who are able to see his messages and actually call a media station malaya. There are ways, especially on Twitter, that you can actually choreograph your words so that they're not exact, they do not, appear to be insulting. But that was so upfront. And for me, one, if you're a representative of the government, which the CS in question here, who's Honorable Moses Kuria, CS for Trade, who represents this country, both in the country and outside the country, if you're looking at the character and integrity of someone who should be representing us in government, then Moses Kuria is not. But also, one, the problem in this country now is anyone who opposes the government is seen as Azimio. Olive Barrow, if today you say that the government said yesterday, we're going to give you houses on Friday, and then on Friday they don't, and then you call them out on Friday, you suddenly become Azimio. We cannot be seeing Raila Odinga everywhere, because then for me it tells me we have a government of people who won, in quotes, won elections, they got into governance, and they have no idea what they're supposed to do as a country. So then we're still going back to blame games, and we're saying that, Raila Odinga is only sending his people. It can't be that I'm here, Syntei, and my colleagues are here, but for example, if she says that, MCAs are agitated, that's a fact, isn't it? And then someone from Kenya Kwanza would say, because she said MCAs are not comfortable then she's against the government. She's not against the government. She's speaking her truth. As a government, we cannot see Raila Odinga everywhere and Azimio everywhere. As a people and as a country that is ruled by a constitution, we must remember that democracy dictates that a government can rule, but it can also be criticized. And an opposition is allowed unless we are going back to a one de facto political party, which to me looks like where we are heading.